Hi everybody, and welcome to the third video covering the Charlotte Winter Norm Invitational at the Charlotte Chess Center. My name is Mark Biernacki. I'm a National Master. We'll be reviewing rounds 5 through 6 today, the round from last night and the round from this morning. Okay, so the standings have started to develop here. In GM Group A, we have three players still in contention for norms. That would be International Master John Bartholomew with a +2 score, sitting in 4 out of 6. Currently playing against Kalkstein. We have Shmilov also, or with 3.5 out of 6, looking to get 6.5 out of 9, needs to win next 3 games to achieve GM norm. And then FM Kevin Wang um, needs 6.5 out of 9 for GM norm, but also 4.5 out of 9 for an IM norm. So needs 1 out of 3 for the IM norm or 3 out of 3 for the GM norm. Also, Kevin Wang just got the I guess the IM norm is no longer applicable because he just got the IM title by crossing the 2400 rating threshold. He already had enough norms, so he will become an international master soon after this tournament is completed. In GM Group B, we have two players still in contention for a norm. That would be International Master John Burke with a score of 4.5 out of 6 +3 score. And then I am Kamrakulov with 4 out of 6 +2 score. So Kamrakulov needs 2.5 out of 3. John Burke needs 2 out of 3 to get a GM norm. Finally, in our International Master Group, we have Titus with the score of 5 out of 6. National Master Wesley Wang has a score of 4.5 out of 6. Needs 2 out of 3 to get an IM norm. Jennifer Yu has 4 out of 6. Needs 2.5 out of 3 to get an IM norm, or 2 out of 3 to get a WGM norm. And then also Benjamin Moon suffered a loss in round 6, but he is still in contention for an IM norm. If he goes 3 out of 3 in his next 3 games, he will achieve an IM norm. Also, National Master Wesley Wang crossed the 2300 rating threshold, so he will become an FM after this tournament is completed. Okay, so without further ado, let's take a look at some of the games. Um, Here we have FM Kevin Wang against IM David Brodsky. This was the game where Wang crossed the 2400 rating threshold, so a key game for sure. D4, knight f6, bishop f4. Lots of London systems, but for the people who say the London system is boring, this game was definitely not. Black plays c5, looking to get some sort of initiative. c3, knight c6, knight d2. Takes, and white recaptures with e-pawn. So now already an imbalanced game with black having a pawn, or white having a pawn on c3 and black having a pawn on e6. Knight h5, white plays bishop e3, not looking to trade off that bishop. And on knight e5, at first glance, looks like white is hanging a pawn, but of course the queen is attacking the knight. So black cannot afford to capture twice on e5. g6 played, now g4, looking to gain some space on the king side. Knight g7, h4. h5, preventing white from playing h5 themselves. Now knight f3. Takes g4. Knight takes g4. Knight f5, attacking the bishop. And so white goes bishop g5, looking to keep that piece on the board several times now. Bishop b7. Rook h2. Wow, that is shocking. It must be some sort of prep or something. Rook h2. Yeah, it's computer's move. We'll see. We'll see the purpose of it. I don't understand it right away. Bishop d7. Queen d2. f6. Bishop f4. And now queen b6. So here, white has some decisions to make about the king. Bishop d3. Attacking knight on f5. Potentially taking also with some maybe h5. Probably not. Okay, knight a5. Queen e2. So now if black goes knight c4, white has the option of capturing that knight. b3 is probably like a little too weakening, um, allowing black to control some squares such as a3 and attack c3 as well. So queen e2 played, knight c4, takes, takes, and now knight e3. Looking to get rid of this knight on f5. Takes. Computer prefers a move like bishop c6, but I guess black did not want to face this type of structure. G takes, with white maybe playing on the g file as well now. Yeah, because it's annoying to deal with this pass pawn. Okay, so knight, instead of bishop c6, knight takes e3 was played. Now f takes. White looks to get rooks on the f and g file likely, f or g file, and attack these pawns a little bit. The f and g pawns are nearly hanging pawns. Queen b5, e4, controlling the center. Now queen h5. So black is looking to play queen g4 and put some pressure on this h pawn. Now white plays the move queenside castles, delayed castling until move 24. I guess now that the queen is on the other side of the board, this move makes a lot more sense. b5, looking to play b4 and get something going on the queen side. So white goes e5, somewhat trapping the queen on this side of the board. f5. Now e4, or d5, sorry, not e4, blowing up the center. White's pieces seem uh, much better placed for a move such as d5, especially with black's king still being in the center, and white has some knight d4 ideas. d5 opens up the square d4 for a piece. So takes, e6, bishop c8. Now, computer really likes the move, queen e5, plus 7. Trying to figure out why it's so good. Queen protects rook, obviously, so queen takes f3 is not playable because of just queen takes rook. Okay, computer likes bishop b7. Let's let it play a few moves. Knight g5. Yeah. Okay, so I guess the knight is coming to f7, and of course, if black takes, this will be pretty hopeless because of simply, h takes g5. That's even better. Yeah, I was thinking bishop takes and then queen c7, but both moves work. H takes is much cleaner, obviously. So yeah, this would have been quite nice for white getting his pieces. Getting a knight to f7. Instead, bishop g5 played. Yeah, it's actually kind of natural to play bishop g5 instead of knight g5 because you want the knight to stay on the board. But if you go knight g5 at some point, then black won't be able to capture as long as you move this queen to a certain square. I think queen e5 was definitely pretty important. I don't know the time situation here though. Bishop g5, rook h7. Now queen e5 played. Of course, not with the same effect. Queen takes f3 looks playable now. Hmm. Some sort of positional piece sacrifice. King takes obviously not playable. Queen c7 check. And rook takes also obviously not playable. Queen h8 mate. Yeah, very interesting. That's a cool idea. Wow. If queen takes knight, you take on e7 and black cannot recapture. Okay, so instead, bishop b7 played. Now bishop takes e7. Rook takes e7. Notice how queen h8 is, of course, not playable. Queen takes queen. So knight g5 instead. Looking to bring the knight to f7, maybe d6. Queen h6. Rook d2, getting out of the pin. Queen g7. Now rook takes d5. If black plays bishop takes d5, queen takes d5. Oh, this happened in the game, so we'll just look at it from the game. So rook c8, queen takes b5. Exchange sacrifice here from whites. What about knight f7? Okay, black goes king f8. Yeah, okay, I guess it makes sense then. That the best move is just to take the pawn. King f8. Queen a6 attacking the rook. Rook e8. Queen takes c4. Taking all the pawns. White has compensation for the exchange here now. Just buy material. Queen f4. Trying to prevent the queen. I'm actually not too sure what this move does. We'll see. King g8. Rook d5. Rook c8. White just slowly improving his position while black is kind of stuck with this pawn on e6 being a big issue. Rook e7. Rook d4. Wanted to prevent rook takes c3, I think, or even just not have to worry about it. Rook c6, attacking the pawn. Queen d2. Rook c8, or rook e8. Now rook d7. Controlling the 7th rank. Rook e7. Now I missed a shot here. Rook d8 check, king g7, and the move pawn to h5. Opening up the h file for pieces like the queen. For example, if black simply takes, the move queen g2 comes. If black does nothing, then the move h6 comes. And after king takes h6, this just looks like it's over for black. So h5 would have been a nice move after rook d8 check, but instead white plays queen d5, rook c8, a4, rook e8. Again, black is left to just shuffle. Okay, now he tries to get active. f4, making use of his passed pawn. Knight e4, queen takes h4. Now knight back to g5. I'm interested to see this move. Looks pretty good. Rook takes d7. Knight f6. Yeah, queen d4 looks pretty natural, but knight g5 does cut off the queen. Queen h6. If queen f2 check, notice that there's really not any good way to improve here. Oh, rook b8. Well, I guess king b1, there's no good way to improve here. Yeah. So queen a3 was played, or queen h6. Now knight e4. Eyeing the f6 square. It's likely that both players were on time here. Queen g7. Queen g5. Knight f6 check. Seems like it cannot be prevented now. And after rook takes d7, e takes d7, black resigned because of knight f6 looming and pawn takes rook also in the air. Okay, let's take a look at the game. Burke against Gorovets. White played e4. Black plays c6, the Carol Khan. And white plays 2 knight c3, d5, knight f3, takes, knight f6, queen e2, takes, queen d5, queen h4, queen e6 check, bishop e2. Now queen g4, hoping for a queen trade. But white says, on my terms, queen g3, and after queen takes g3, white takes back with h-pawn, putting pressure on h7. Black goes knight d7, b3, knight f6, bishop b2, g6, knight g5. Okay, so here, black should play h6. But instead he goes bishop g7, right into this tactic, knight takes h7. If knight takes, just bishop takes g7, so rook takes. You could also leave it there, but that runs into knight takes f6 check, so maybe not. Yeah, okay. Yeah, not, you cannot leave it there. King d8. Okay, just looks unnatural leaving the king in the middle of the board with so many pieces on. And it's going to be like impossible to actually win this knight despite the pin. White just queenside castles. It's a very temporary pin. So knight takes, knight takes, and then bishop takes g7. Knight f6. I found this to be kind of instructive. White does not immediately capture the knight. White holds off because if this knight ever moves, then white has the bishop pair. You can take this knight at the right moment. So castles, bishop e6, rook h1, controlling the open file, and after king d7, white goes rook h8, looking to trade pieces up a pawn. Takes, c5, and now white decides to take the knight on f6, giving black doubled pawns. So white just a clean pawn up and a bishop of same color ending. King b2, king d6, improve the king. Now bishop d7, probably going to bishop c6, bishop c4, bishop e8. Okay, so maybe a slight inaccuracy here, bishop d7, because the move bishop c4 was coming anyways. Yeah, yeah. So bishop d7 is just preemptive because the move bishop c4 will be played by white on the next move, and obviously you cannot trade bishops when and go into a king and pawn endgame just down a pawn. So bishop d7 makes a lot of sense actually. You could also go king e7, but that seems hopeless retreating the king. Yeah. D4. Yeah, computer finds a good move because now the squares like c5 and d5 are available to the king now that the king is stuck on e7. Okay, so that did not happen. Bishop d7, bishop c4, bishop e8, and now d4. Looking to get the king more involved. a5 takes, a3. Gonna play b4, force the king backwards, and then king d4. So f5 played, b4 check, takes, king d6, king d4. Now f6. Okay, this bishop on e8 looks really passive, but it is doing a good job of preventing white's ideas. So let's see how Burke handled this. Bishop d5 attacking the pawn, b6. Now c4. White is going to play c5. Make black worry about this passed c pawn. Now g5 played. And c5. c5 check. Takes, king c7. Bishop e6, attacking f5 pawn, forcing the move f4 or bishop g6. Okay, black finds bishop c6 instead, counterattack. f3 played. Now after f4, the position is kind of falling apart. Let's look and try to find the key moment for black. Takes. Computer likes king d7. Sort of eyeing two important squares. Very interesting, actually. But anyways, I think it's probably already lost. Bishop e6, just down a pawn for black. But very impressive conversion by white. So f3, f4, takes. Bishop d5, bishop's b5, king e4, bishop f1, takes. And after king f5, black resigned in light of king takes f6, and white will be up 2 pawns. Should be a pretty straightforward win at that point. Okay, thanks for watching. Still have 3 more rounds. Okay, a few games are done from the 7th round already, but 3 more rounds in total. So tune in tomorrow for another recap video.